When setting up a brand new security system for an apartment complex this size, the first thing that needs to be done is the company needs to send out a letter to every single resident living here notifying them that there's going to be a new security system. So why would I say something like that? A letter, obviously. The reason I say that is because when this company cleaned up the fitness center, they didn't send out a letter notifying anybody about it. They put in a new playground, and there's no letter notifying anybody about it. And several months ago, the water was shut off. I found out that the water was being shut off because I went and turned on my faucet to, oh no, discover that there was no water. So when they do certain projects in this complex, they do not notify people about it. So to put in a new security system, first and foremost, somebody in that office has to actually sit down and write a letter to the residents, and that letter should read that Wasatch Hills Apartments will be installing a new video monitoring system, a new key system, and a new door system. As such, the fitness center and the clubhouse will be shut down for a period of time, probably a week or two. So even though nobody's allowed in the clubhouse right now, send out that letter notifying them anyway that the clubhouse is not going to be available for a couple of weeks because there's going to be a new security system put in. The second thing, take down every single sign that you guys currently have in and around the swimming pool, the fitness center, and the clubhouse, because those signs have absolutely no meaning and no value. You'll be putting in new signs that are going to go along with your new security system. All entrances to the swimming pool should not, under any circumstance, be through a gate, because that gate cannot be regulated. You have to be able to control who's entering the swimming pool. This way you're going to be able to keep out non-residents and children who are not being supervised. All gates should be emergency exit only, and that means that only the maintenance staff or security guards will be able to enter the gates, the emergency exit gates, with an actual key system.
The alarm can be set for a piercing 105 decibel warning horn, or if you choose, a softer 95 decibel warning. The STI 6400 can also be set to sound for 30 seconds, 3 minutes, or indefinitely. That is, unless disarmed with a key or the battery runs out.
The company needs to purchase a DVR recording system. Of course, there are lots of different DVR recording systems available, and I'm going to link some of them in the video description box. What this really means is that you need to purchase cameras and put these cameras around various points of the property that you want to monitor. I personally recommend that you put one camera in front of the entrance door of the fitness center, one in front of the entrance door of the clubhouse, one inside of the fitness center, a couple inside of the clubhouse, one by the outside swimming pool, actually both outside swimming pools, and also on the jacuzzis. The system will start recording either when there's motion or it will be recording constantly. This system should be set up to record for at least 2 full weeks. And another important feature about these kinds of recording systems is that there are lots of apps that your security guards should be downloading either onto their iPad or their iPhone or even basically onto their computer. And that means that no matter where they are in the property, they can watch any of these security cameras at any time.
500 gigabyte hard drive. That's enough space to capture over 300 hours of video from all 4 cameras. Or set the system to click into record mode using motion detection to save drive space. So I've hooked up our own PC monitor to the DVR system, and now I've got all 4 cameras on display. By taking the mouse here, I can just click. As you can see, I've put one in our office, and I can see all the employees working at their desk. Clicking over here, I got one in the front door of the office to keep track of who's coming in and out. And I've also put one in the kitchen, and I left a little bait. Looks like my buddy Al here is looking at those donuts pretty closely. And lastly, I put one in the studio so I can see my own self. Hi Ma, look at me, I'm on TV. So it's working pretty well. We got 4 cameras all working into the DVR system, which is being displayed on our external PC monitor. As well, the whole system is connected to the internet, so you can access it from a PC anywhere in the world. In my left hand, I have an iPhone 4, and as you can see, I'm getting a quadrant view of each of the cameras. Simply by tapping on here, I can get a full view, and then if I tap back, I can get right back into the quadrant view. Now, in my right hand, I have an Android phone. I wasn't able to find the 4-quadrant view on this Android smartphone, but I can still toggle through all the views by pressing the buttons on the bottom here. Our last test is the email alert. We've configured the system to send us an email notification if any activity is detected. And, oh, there's one right now. Looks like Al's headed for the donuts. Let me check the camera and see what's really happening. Oh, Al. See, I knew he couldn't resist donuts.
The next security feature that this company needs to purchase is a silent door alarm system. This is the silent alarm that will be installed in the front door of the fitness center and in the clubhouse. This is a very, very important feature because what it will do is if somebody leaves the door open for too long, it will send a silent page to the security or the patrol people who are working that day. And this is a really important thing for them to respond to. Once they get that page, they need to go immediately to the clubhouse or to the fitness center, because that right there is an indication that individuals are being let in without a proper key. That means the door is being held open. When the door is being held open, that also means that property might be stolen. So this is an incredibly important feature that absolutely should be purchased. The final element to this is a new key system. It should be a universal key system. So the key that I have to access the fitness center should be the same exact key that I have to access the clubhouse. This is going to be a bit of an area of contention among the residents because I think that the keys should be purchased. I think that they should cost each resident $25 per key. The reason that I make that argument is, one, the security system is not completely free. I estimate it's probably going to cost the company anywhere between, I don't know, $4,000 to $6,000. And I also have this idea that when you have to actually pay for something, you're going to take a bit more responsibility for it and better care for it. The key itself should be a card issued to one individual, and the card itself will have, of course, the printed name of the card user and any guests that they are permitted to bring with them. The door card is the resident's key to the fitness center, the key to the clubhouse, and the key to the swimming pool and jacuzzis during swim season. So it's their pass to access all of those common areas. If a person does not have a door card issued to them, they will not be able to enter any of these facilities. So really the key to regulating this is to ensure that all the residents who are issued a door key will also have to sign an agreement with the company. And like I said, this is going to be a very contentious issue, but remember that there are people here who are committing damage, who are doing, things like stealing weight stack pins. There are people who even have sex in the jacuzzi, and yes, I personally saw that with my own 2 eyes, and I wish that I had been blind. But yeah, I actually saw sexual activity in the jacuzzi. So the problem is that there are people who do bad things, who allow unsupervised children, and they should be held to standards, and that means requiring that for them to have access to these common areas, they're going to have to sign an agreement with the company. So all of this really needs to be tied into how does everything work together and how can everything be enforced. I've watched the quote-unquote courtesy patrol that currently work here, and from what I've observed, their salary is not justified. They need to be retrained into how to use the security system. These apps should be downloaded onto their iPhone or their iPod or whatever it is that they're using so that they can monitor. They need to be trained to respond to all door pages. And if these security people aren't up to the task, I think that their position should be terminated, and this company should hire security guards that are up to this task and who will enter the facility and who will say, "Good evening or good afternoon, everybody. I'm Joe, security guy. Please show me your door card." And everybody, by the terms of their contract, has to show their door card. And that's how you know if there's anybody in those areas that are not supposed to be in there, is you need to have security guards that actually earn their paycheck. And that is really the key to having this work, is we need to have security guys who earn their paycheck, because right now their salary is completely not justified. Okay, so this is just my recommendation for a security system. here at Wasatch Hills Apartments in Renton, Washington. And as I've said before, I'm not a security expert. I know a little bit about security, but I'm not an expert, and I think that a real security company needs to be hired from the outside to implement a proper security system. So I think that if this company implements all of these things that I'm suggesting, that a lot of these problems will be able to be fixed. I mean, a lot of those kids who I saw in the swimming pool over the summer would not have been able to access it if my system was in place, because how are they going to enter? Did mom or dad give them the door key? Well, mom and dad just broke the rule. That means you have it on video right there. The security guys have it on video. They just need somebody to phone it in and say, hey, I see these kids. There's a lot of cursing. There's this or that or the other. Please come down and check that door cards, ask for everyone's door cards. And it's the security's job to do that. And right then and there, they would have been able to immediately revoke the card of the parents who just allowed all those kids to go down there by themselves. Or if a child goes into the fitness center and steals the weight stack pins, the security will be able to take a look at the video camera and see on whose card that child was able to enter that facility. And, if it was my son, and if my son stole all those weight stack pins, I should be fined and I should have to pay for it. And it's really a system of accountability, and it's going to be accountability of the parents to watch their children. And but most important, it's a system of transparency. Everybody should know that they are being video recorded and watched. In fact, if there is possibility of setting up an actual website, a password protected website, and giving all the residents a password and saying, hey residents, get online, here's the password, you can get on and watch any of these cameras at your leisure. I think that if individuals are in the jacuzzi, they're not as likely to be engaging in sexual activity if they think that any person, or 5 people, or 1 person, or 25 people at any time are on a website watching any of those security cameras, including their sexy time in the jacuzzi. I think that they're going to be less likely to do it. And I think that if the company also says, listen, if you're recorded on camera having sex in the jacuzzi, it's going to be a $100 fine. That's a huge incentive for them not to do it. So this system of accountability, I think, is really the key to solving a lot of these problems. So the video is long enough. I'm going to end it at that. Please leave comments in the video description box, good, bad, negative. If you love my recommendations, if you hate them, say whatever you think. Again, there's no censorship going on here.